what is the rake at the game that you play in? What is the rake?
In Los Angeles, basically every game is up to the 5-10 level is raked at about $6 a hand with the jackpot. So in a 1-2 game, you're paying 3 big blinds per hand, and at a 5-10 game, you're paying half a big blind a hand. So
is that a $5 10% drop with a $1 jackpot? In
Los Angeles, it's a dead drop. It's not technically a rake. It's a drop. They just take $5. They take $5 no matter what. In Vegas, they take a percentage that's capped at like $4 or $5. Vegas has much lower rake than Los Angeles, but Vegas also has much worse games. So I think that playing in Los Angeles, if you can play at the 5-10, 10-20 level, you're much better off. If you have to play below 5-10 at the 2-5, 1-3, 1-2 type levels, you're probably better off playing in Vegas because the rake is just so much different. I'm not even supposed to say that, but I'm gonna say it because it's the truth, and I just tell the truth.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess I've kind of done my research, and usually on average I get about 30 hands an hour playing live.
Right.
Playing online, get about 100 per hour. That's just one table though.
Right.
But I have a pretty good win rate online, and I've been trying to figure out a reliable source of what people are kind of getting on live, but there's just nowhere to find. I know most people agree that whatever stakes you play online, it's a tenth or whatever. Say I'm playing 1 cent, 2 cent theoretically online. It's the equivalent of playing 10, 20, 10 cent, 20 cent live. But how? I was just wondering if there's any comparison as far as possible win rates. Skill level is one thing, but
here's the thing: after Black Friday, everyone said there was 100 threads on 2+2 and tens of thousands of posts, and everybody except for me, I was the only dissenting voice. I swear to God, you can go back and look. I was the only dissenting voice. Everybody was saying after Black Friday that live poker is dead. They're saying these online players that can't play anymore are going to come in and crush these games and destroy everybody, and it's the end of the line for the live poker pro. Everyone said that. You can go back and look. They were putting up little fucking what do you call that? Where paint shop, Photoshop. They had little graves, little tombstones for the live poker pro. But guess what actually happened? Nothing. The online players came and they really couldn't beat the games for enough to stay in action. Because if you're playing 2-5 and you're making 5 bigs an hour, which is basically what you're going to make if you're a very good player, you're making $25 an hour. If you have the skill to make $25 an hour, you probably can get a $100,000 a year job in the real world. So why work a $25 an hour job when you can work a $100,000 a year job? Now, the very, very best online players, the ones who could learn about how live poker works, how it's very slow and it's all about exploiting and it's not about taking these standard lines, the very, very best ones that learned that you got to talk to your opponents and you got to deal with all their nonsense and you got to look for the best games and you can't just play no limit hold'em. You got to play stud and you got to play limit hold'em and and if a mixed game comes up, you have to learn how to play the games in the mix. This is what we're seeing online now too. The very, very best players are learning how to play all of the games. And the reason is because to actually get a living wage of a 6-figure living wage in live poker, you need to forget a lot of the things that you were doing online and do a lot of things that seem fishy. It seems fishy to talk to this guy. It seems fishy to learn how to re-angle his angle shoots. It seems fishy to try to get invited to the best games. I just want to show up and I just want to play my hands and I want to put on headphones. But you're never going to make a living doing that in live poker. In live poker, if you want to make the 10 big blinds an hour, which is basically the holy grail, 10 big blinds an hour is basically the best players in the fucking world. If you want to make that, you have to exploit the shit out of your opponents. And if you want to exploit the shit out of your opponents, You really, really, really have to dig into their head and get to know them. So after Black Friday, a ton of online pokers came, and 99% of them left. It just wasn't for them. That's why I say, I'm not saying that live is harder or better. I'm not saying online is harder or better. They're two completely different animals. They're two completely different animals.
So you said 10 big blinds per hour is the holy grail. So about 30 hands an hour would be about almost 30 big blinds per 30 VP per 100.
Yeah.
You think that's maintainable live? If you're killing it.
Yeah, if you're a world-class player, that's totally maintainable. I mean, the people that Nichoel is talking to for her book here, probably herself and her husband, over giant sample sizes, can get into the 7 to 10 range. If you're going over 10, I don't even want to talk about it. You're like in a different world than me. If you're getting under 10, it means that you just don't understand what live poker is all about. Under 7, I mean. But the 7 to 10 range, if you want to work your ass off, always play in the best games, respect your opponents and get to know them, even when you think that they're complete goofballs, that's basically what you could expect.
I think that I agree completely. I think that I wanted to add something to that too. Is an important thing that you said really quickly there, Lemon, was that over a long term. A lot of times people will get on forums and they're like, "Oh, here's the win rates you can expect." How long have you been playing? Oh, 6 months.
Right.
I mean, anything can happen in a short amount of time, and it does. And you especially will hear on all of the forums. I mean, anytime you hear someone want to tell you like how great their win rate is, the first thing you should ask them is like how long you've been playing, because it's never very long. So, just make sure that you understand it's over a long term too. So I mean, some years you're gonna have bad years, some years you're gonna have awesome years. It's just but that is about the average.
Yeah, that's why I was saying it's hard to find a reliable source, because I mean, who can really tell you they put in 20,000 hands or whatnot? Nobody really actually knows that playing live. But one quick question I wanted to ask you is, do you think that it caps out, like if that's the case, say 30 big blinds per 100 is possible? Do you think it caps out with the rake included and everything, depending on where the stakes, like whether I played 1-2 or 2-5 or go to play 10-20? You think that the highest maintainable win rate of the 30 big blinds per 100 would be the same for all levels? Or do you think it caps out, or do you think it's possible to achieve even higher at a softer game?
Well, here.
I don't know if that made sense.
It makes sense. I don't think it caps out. I think that there are like poker savants, like extremely, extremely gifted people that can possibly push it up a little. But I've been around a long time, and I don't know that I've met many of them, if any, because it seems like every 5 years, like 90% of the poker pros are gone, and the ones that are left, like let's say that some guy comes on and he tells you, "Oh, I'm making $400 an hour at 10-20." This is what people always used to say on 2+2 and everywhere else. They'd say, "I make $400 an hour playing 10-20 no limit." A lot of people said this. There was a big echo chamber that you could make $400 an hour playing 10-20 no limit. But here's the thing you have to remember. For a full-time poker player, $400 an hour is $800,000 a year. Okay? $400 an hour is $800,000 a year. And I've known like basically every poker player that comes through the casino. I mean, not everybody, I mean 90%. None of them, no matter how good they think they are or they say they are, none of them make $800,000 a year. They don't live like people who make $800,000 a year, because you got to remember, I used to live in the real world. I used to hang out with like presidents of companies, CEOs. I golf with them. I golf with people who really do make $800,000 a year. They got country club memberships, boats, a wife, 3 kids, a house, another house on the lake, 2-week vacations to Europe every year. No poker player lives like this. This isn't the way poker players live. They don't make that kind of money. They might tell you they make that kind of money, but then they live in a fucking poker crib with 3 of their fucking buddies, driving a leased car, and basically like hoofing it to the next tournament stop. So
Right, and like the tournament pros, they record what you win, but it doesn't show what people have lost.
Exactly.
The buy-ins they put into the table. So.
you want to know somebody who makes $800,000 a year playing poker? It's Daniel Negreanu. You know how much of that he makes actually playing poker? Probably not much of it. You get a side job if you want $800,000 a year playing poker. Now, if you want to make a nice six-figure income and work your ass off, but have to, but even though you put in all the hard work, you get to choose your own hours and choose your own schedule and do something that supposedly you love, then you can do it. But if you think you're going to be like rich and famous playing poker, that ain't gonna happen. You gotta be in it for the grind. That's my advice to you. I don't know if that helps at all.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Anything?